it's extremely problematic for me that this phenomenon doesn't introduce itself. It will come to you, it will tease you, cajole you, screw around with your head, tell you wonderful things, lie to you, tell you, that you have a special purpose. And I said, but it doesn't introduce itself to your parents, metaphorically speaking. It doesn't come out. It just doesn't say this is who we are or who it is. And so where does that really leave you? What can you say about it? So I look at this, and so when I get these young kids, that call me and they'll say like, Mr. Semivan, I want to get involved. And I go, no, you don't want to get involved in it. I said, it's a one-way street. It is a classic wilderness of mirrors. It is Alice's rabbit hole. And I said, you can dive as deep as you want to dive in there. I said, it is fascinating. It's a lot of fun. I said, but you're not going to get anywhere. I said, get a job, save your money, and I've told this to very senior government people. I said, you're never going to come out with this because you don't know what it is and you can't explain it. And this goes back to the sovereignty principle, right? There was this wonderful article that was written by Alexander Wendt, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name, from Ohio State, basically saying, do you really expect the president of the United States to come out and say, well, we discovered that there's an entity out there, or there's some kind of a technology out here. We don't think it's human, but yet it has the ability to control our lives. It knows everything about us. It can lie to us. It can, change our reality at will. He's supposed to, his job is to protect us, right?
Right.
The military's job is to protect us. Well, if he's telling you that, everything's wide open. Religious scholars don't want to religious people, I should say, don't want to go there either, because where's God in all this?
Oh, what? He just opened up a can of worms.
Where is God in all of this, Jim?
I think we know where God is. This opens up for. I'm out of words. That's what's happening to me right now. I think what's going on here is there is absolutely God in this, and we are. The problem is the whole universe is in a giant court system. We have been absolutely sanctioned off, quarantined, if you would say, and we have to have this scene play out. And fortunately, Satan can't just do his darndest on everything, because God is bigger and he's still in control, and he can still do that. But if we open up ourselves to this thing by doing these things, then we're allowing things to happen. I think that's where he's missed it, because God is absolutely in this stuff, and he can help us. In fact, Joe Jordan, who's been on the program a few times, he says he has evidence. There's been over 400 documented cases where you call out to Jesus' name as someone who passionately and truly believes in Jesus, and he will help you. It will disappear. So that just tells me that Semivan hasn't done his research.
Well, he asked the question, where's God in all this? And the answer is it's the other side of the coin that he's not describing. So he describes demons and Satan like they will lie to you, they will deceive you, they will do all this horrible stuff. Well, God is the exact opposite of that. And if you take this, anybody who's watching this and you check out Jim Semivan, and he's not the only person with a story like this who describes these horrible experiences, just ask yourself, like, these qualities that he's describing, would you accept them? And would you want to deal with a human being who lied to you, who deceives you, who treated you this way? Most of us, most sane, rational people would say, no, you don't have those type of people in your life, ideally. So why would you get involved with beings, especially more powerful than you, that can deceive you on a level where you don't even know you're being deceived? That's a big danger, I think, with a lot of people who go down, like he said, it goes down the rabbit hole. It's going to lead, it's not the rabbit hole you think you're not getting the whole truth. They're going to lead you down. There's so many branches that they can put you in of deception, and the only way out is to, well, one, don't get engaged with it at all, but two, if you are engaged with it, go to Jesus Christ. That's the only turnaround, and that's the light behind you that you need to be running to.
Yeah, Jesus is gonna take like a drill, and you're like way down in that rabbit hole, and he's just gonna go brrr, and he's gonna go right down, and he's gonna pull you out, and you're gonna be like, thank you, Jesus, I'm so glad. He'll do it for you. Eric is absolutely right. It's hard. I mean, I imagine to see God in it when you are just totally cloaked in darkness. It makes sense to me. One other thing that Jim did mention in that clip was that he said government is not going to disclose this information, which you had Mikey Jenny on a while back, and that was one of the things that he mentioned was that it's going to be a push from the public to release the information and that it's not necessarily going to be a governmental disclosure. That's fascinating to me because you don't have to think of it in terms of like the government is actually resisting it. That could just be the way that they want it to play out. They want the people to be involved in it. And it seems like, from what we understand, you have to have a personal connection with it. You have to have this willingness to be like, I want to know. If you're there, I want to see you. It's the same way when you say that to God, if you're there, show up in my life. And he does. He'll show up in a tremendous way. And your life will be changed. But unfortunately, if you just call out to whatever and say, hey, alien entities, if you're there, I want to see you. I'm giving you the permission. Come on in. And they will. I mean, they're waiting. Trust me. They're forcing your locks at all times. So if you just open the door to them, they're like, thank you very much. And they're going to wipe their feet on your carpet and make themselves
and bring
home.
7 friends with them. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And there's also another part to this is about how, because he's referring to the government. A lot of people have the idea that like the government, if you watch the X-Files or something like that, it's like, the government is just as baffled. They're trying to figure out what this is, or they're trying to reverse engineer a craft. But this kind of ties into something that Lou Elizondo was talking about, is the people at the really high up, they already know that this is demonic, that these are interdimensional spirit beings and they're not nice. So that's why they're not gonna, they can't just come out and say that, and that they can do all these things, and that they're essentially powerless minions. So, we look at them as, oh, the elites in the human world, they have all the money or they have the power of government. It's like they know that they're powerless.
Yeah, I think it was interesting what he said about the government too. He said, well, you think the government's going to be able to just say, hey, yeah, let me tell you, the whole public, that there's this thing that we can't control, and it's going to control you, and you're not the highest part of the food chain, is what I've heard a lot of people say. And you, not that they eat us, but that absolutely they are more powerful. These things are more powerful than us. Fortunately, we're on the side of people that are people, entities, God, angels, good angels that are more powerful than them. So I think it's interesting that he says this deceives you. It's a one-way street. It's a maze of mirrors. And this is all from his experience, I assume, from his job. And so this is an unofficial statement from an ex-employee of some of the highest secretive branches. So I think that's pretty remarkable. Thanks for watching this segment. Subscribe to our channel and join us every Thursday night for more daily strange topics and more. Find us on Discord by accessing patreon.com/strangenormal. See you there.